Ready, Ruff? Here we go.
Let's rough and roll.
Leave that in. 1, 2, 3, hit it.
When the kids
That's a good one.
Hilarious.
Let's rough and roll. That's a good one.
when the kids go to sleep,
Ugly, baby.
dreams
I always
and
feel better about myself when I can make Shay laugh.
when the kids go to sleep.
Oh, wow. That was crazy. Bravo, my love.
Welcome to the
bravo.
podcast, episode 72 of When the Kids Go to Sleep, right here at...
Maker Studios in Los Angeles, California. Yeah!
Is it weird sometimes to think that we live in one of the biggest cities in the world?
It is. It is super weird.
Coming from where we've come from, I do that a lot. I'm the kind of person that really likes to be nostalgic and be
You
like,
have reflection moments on your lips right now.
Yeah.
No, I noticed that. I like it, though. I like it about you.
welcome to the podcast. Today we're going to be taking your Twitter and Facebook questions and
For realsies.
talking about some, because I feel bad. We always ask for your feedback and then we always just get blabbing and then we don't read those.
So we're going to start off first thing.
But listen, I thought of a great analogy last night that I wanted to share with you guys, because a lot of people ask us, like, how do we stay positive and how do we stay happy and how do we, you know, keep this positive energy going? And it's not easy. It takes work. We have down days. We have moments where we feel discouraged and all those things. But here's what I compare it to. Okay, you ever played Mario and you've played the water level? You know what it's like on the water level where you get into the water level and what happens to the water level? It like sucks you down, right?
Yeah.
And you have to hit, is it the B button?
Yeah.
Like, bloop,
You have
bloop,
to
bloop.
keep
Every time you
pushing
hit the
up,
B button, it like shoots you up a little bit, right? So that's what life is like. When you wake up in the morning, you're in the water level and you're just going to be being pulled down. And unless you hit that B button, unless you do specific things to raise your levels of happiness and energy and positivity, you will be continually being sucked down. And you have to take an active, role in making yourself happy. That's why I say happiness is a choice, because you have to choose it. You have to say, you know what? I am going to be happy today. No matter what happens, I'm going to smile and I'm going to do things that will bring me that happiness. Now, sometimes just saying that isn't enough. Sometimes, we believe in, prayer helps that, reading your scriptures, bringing those like eternal perspectives to your mind helps that. Little things by hitting that B button is going to give you those little boosts. Some people, they try to use alcohol or, drugs or caffeine. I know a lot of people that, don't talk to me until I've had my coffee. You know what I mean? Like there's outside stimuluses, whatever it is, you have to choose those right things, but you have to hit that B button to keep yourself up, because life is like the water world, man. It'll just keep pulling you down. It'll keep pulling you down.
It's true. I think it's you have to make a conscious effort every day to push the B button and be happy. Otherwise, it's just, you always wake up on the wrong side of the bed. I do that. I do that a lot.
It's
and then
easy to get
you
discouraged.
Just have to be like,
yeah.
No, everything's okay. I'm not a failure. The kids are fine. Push the B button.
Colette always has those struggles with like, am I a bad mom? Which seems so ludicrous because she's such a good mom.
Well, I just feel like
But
there's so many things
that
you can do to be a good person.
Is one of her trials. That
Yes.
is one of the things that pulls her down, is and that's also at the same time what makes her such a good mom, is that she's worried about being a good mom and she has those doubts. Doubts and self, questioning can also be things that like pull you down.
Yes, and they can also be things that if you overcome them, they help you rise above.
And I want to give you specific examples, like here's what I do to be happy. But they're going to differ for everybody. Honestly, like having a quiet moment to, meditate. Try that. Like have some quiet moments to think about your life and where you're going and get some perspective. You know what perspective means? It means like, here's a great story of perspective or a paradigm shift. Stephen Covey, of the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, talks about a time when he was on a train and there was this man on the train with 4 kids. And these kids were just going crazy, screaming, knocking people's newspapers out of their hands, just being loud and climbing over everything. And this guy was just sitting there, not doing anything. So Stephen Covey, finally, after about 15 minutes of this, is like, I need to say something to this jerk. He's not taking care of his kids. So he leans over and he said, "Sir, your kids are really being rambunctious and they're really just kind of making a what's the word?"
Disturbing
Disturbing the people on this train. and you should do something about it. And the guy said, oh, I'm so sorry. We just came from the hospital. We just found out that their mother died, and I don't know how to handle it, and I think they're just acting out because they don't know how to handle it either. And immediately Stephen Covey's like, whoa, okay, sorry, bro, I didn't know that, you know. And he had this paradigm shift where right before he thought, this guy is such a bad dad, I can't believe he's letting his kids do all this crap. Then he found out that their mom just died, and all of a sudden it's like this paradigm shift or this perspective. Like once you have this different perspective, like, okay, it's okay, man. It's okay that your kids are being a little, you know,
Right.
you have these 4 kids and your wife and their mom just died. That's what I'm talking about. It's like, get perspective, like what really matters in life. You know, like does the, you know, the fact that, you know, those, I can't think of all the little details, but, you know, use that perspective. Okay, so let's go to the first question on Facebook. You ready? You got anything? Hit that
Yes.
B button, man. Life is like the water world. You got to do things to get yourself up, whatever they are. Experiment. But don't use stimulants, you know. Meditate instead of medicating. You got to learn to meditate instead of medicate.
I think it's like the other day I was so stressed out. And the kids kept doing like little things like that. They were so rambunctious. Rocktrod was being like screaming. And I just decided, I just took a deep breath and I just started laughing.
Yep.
I just laughed about it. I was like, this is funny right now. Look at how crazy this is. And I'm like super stressed out. It's kind of funny. And I just laughed it off. And I was totally way more relaxed after that. And the kids were more relaxed. And it was just like,
It's funny how
see,
you just,
it doesn't matter.
Just by choosing that, you can just shake it all off your shoulders.
Yeah.
Just like, you know,
I
you're just
remember
like, oh,
we were
stop
super
it, stop it.
late
Like,
to
who
something. And I was just
cares?
like, ha, we're late again. That's okay.
No, it's not. You need to
Laugh
work
it off.
on that.
Laugh it off. All right. Our first question. This comes from Facebook. Jennifer Mary Hills says, "Hi Shay and Colette. My name is Jennifer and I live in the UK. I'm also a Mormon and a huge
Mormon?
Shay Hart fan.
Ew.
My dad wants me to marry another Mormon, but I have a crush on someone who isn't and has no intentions of joining our church. My question is, what would you do if Princess Tart or Baby Tart came up to you and said she was in love with someone who doesn't have any plans on joining the church?"
Good question.
Yes. I don't know if you want to read the rest.
Please read my question out. Okay, so I was thinking like this is kind of personal. Maybe she doesn't want us to read this. Okay, I have all your shirts. Follow Trey Timber. Okay, so that's a good question. What
Yes.
will you do if Princess Tart and Baby Tart come home and say, "Mommy, I'm in love with Joey Motorcycle,
Which
who
they
smokes
have
and
already
drinks"?
done that. Mom, I'm in love with this boy in my class. Oh, really, Princess Tart? You're in love with him. Yes, he's so nice.
Did she say that?
She did. Oh, no. And you know what? I don't know what to do.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
Well, if in that instance, I mean, I would like to have hoped that I've been a good mom up until then and taught them, you know, this is what you should look for in the right person and all this stuff. But, I mean, I did that. I felt like, oh, I love him so much.
Was
You
Caleb?
know,
Was Caleb a member?
I
of
guess
the
I don't
church?
even know how old this person is.
Yeah, how old are you? Was Caleb that boy you're dating? Was he a member? of
Yeah,
the
he was
church?
a member.
Okay. Well, okay. So first of all, you don't have to marry somebody in the same religion, but from our religion, we believe that it helps because you build like once me and Colette first met. We've talked about this in another podcast. We had this huge common ground of belief.
Right.
And in any relationship, the more of those things that you have in common, the more likely that relationship is going to work out. For instance, you know, we grew up in the same church hearing all the same songs. So there's probably over 200 songs that we both know the tune, title, and lyrics to, and we had never met before. You know, I mean, that's true for most people who listen to music, which is everybody. But, you know, those core things, those things that matter, because when you get married, you know, that's a serious thing. You need to ask those questions like, well, what do you believe about this? What do you believe about this? And the more you have in common, the more likely you are to get along. Now, that's not true in every circumstance. There's, you know, people who, you know, meet that don't have anything in common who have great relationships. But sometimes you have to set yourself up for success.
I think
And
for me, it was, I totally believe 100% what the Mormon religion teaches. And I believe that, you know, when you marry somebody with the same beliefs as you and you get married in the temple and you are married for all time and eternity, I wanted that. That's what I looked for, and I saw that in my parents, and I wanted that. Like, that's what I was searching for. And so for me, that wasn't really, I wasn't like, I don't know how to explain it. I can't explain myself.
What are you looking at me for? What do you want me to do?
I want help.
So, to answer the question, I think when they come home, I mean, if that did happen with our daughters, we would just talk to them about it, because there's definitely a fine line between like having a crush on somebody and like being in love.
Yeah, I mean, it totally depends on like how old is this person and what are they looking for, and I think that you have to learn how to look past infatuation and look at the long term. Okay, what is this person's long-term goals, and what do they want in life, and what do I want in life, and how do those come together? Like, that's the most important thing. You can't just like, oh my gosh, love at first sight, I'm totally in with you, I'm going to throw away everything that I've ever believed in or cared about and just follow whatever you want. You know what I mean? I think you just have to be able to look at the future and find those common grounds and know that it's going to work out.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
I've never experienced absolute love at first sight.
I don't think there is such a thing as love at first sight, because I think that's kind of throwing in the face of people who have been in relationships, because you build love.
I think
love
there is.
thing.
I think it's different though. There's different levels to love. And love at first sight is definitely a lot more of the infatuation, the excitement, the I love everything about this person that I can see on the surface. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, there's definitely like that happened with me. Like, you guys know my story. The first time I saw Colette, I said the words, "I will marry that girl," and I didn't know that she was Mormon. I didn't know what she believed in. I didn't know any of that. Just seeing her on stage, I was like, felt that like total. And I don't like to call it love, because I feel like we've been married for 10 years.
Drawn to.
So anybody who believes in love at first sight, I think if they pursued that love at first sight, that person that they saw, you grow that love. Love is a verb. Love is something that you earn. Love isn't just a feeling that just happens.
It's something you build.
You have to serve others. You have to do things for other people. You have to sacrifice and compromise and do a lot of things. So sure, you can have those feelings. I wouldn't say it's love at first sight, but you can have infatuation at love at first sight or whatever. But then after you build a relationship, I don't think anybody that's been in a long-term relationship would say they love the person more at the beginning. Well, maybe they do, because they found out things they don't like about the person. But
maybe
you gotta look at the long term. You have to take off those glasses of infatuation, where it's like, how am I going to feel in 10 years from now? Is this person going to be the same?
And don't ever look at somebody with like, oh, well, I can change them.
Right.
Because you won't. But I mean, in answer to that question, if that happens, I don't feel like, I think that we are going to have to trust our kids. On some things, you just need to allow your kids to experience life and trust in their decisions. And obviously, we will try to guide them in what direction we feel is right for them. But in the long run, they have to decide for themselves what's going to be right for me. What do I truly want out of life? And is this person going to help me get there? And is this person the person that I want to, grow old with?
There's some things you just have to learn for yourself, honestly. Yeah. And as parents, now that we're parents, I remember being a kid and being like, oh, Mom and Dad, shut up, leave me alone. Your parents really do want what's best for you. Your parents don't just want to impose all these rules and regulations on you to restrict you and to like hold you down as their slaves. Sometimes that may seem like that. But honestly, your parents just want what's best for you, and they have some more experience. They've lived more life, and they've seen what's happened when, people go down wrong paths. And so they try to like urge you to do what they feel like is going to make you the happiest. And sometimes that doesn't matter. Sometimes people just need to learn things from themselves. And sometimes that means going through some breakups or even a divorce or whatever, just to learn it from themselves. But
And sometimes your parents won't know exactly what's right for you.
Right.
You need to search that out and really learn for yourself what's right for you. But be cautious and don't just like, if this was like a love at first sight, oh my gosh, I'm totally in love with this person, I'm going to be with them forever, then, just take a step back and look at the future with a long-term viewfinder, whatever you call that.
And be honest with yourself, because, you get in fights with your parents where that they're kind of right, but just because they're telling you can't do that thing, you want to do it anyways. I remember you saying that you were in fights with your dad where you knew he was right, but you were still arguing with him.
Right.
Where it's like, oh, he's right about that, but I don't care. I'm going to do what I want to do.
I do that to you sometimes too. I love you.
To me?
I know he's right, but I'm not going to say it yet.
Yeah. So rise above in a sense where just think about it. It's your life, you know, like you need to make those choices for yourselves. And I think that we will tell our kids that, you know, when Princess Tart comes home from college and she's with Johnny Football or whoever, I don't know who they're going to bring home. I'm going to ask them, I'm going to say, listen, this is your life. What do you want? If he's not a Mormon, if he is a Mormon, if he, you know, whatever it is, like you have to choose. You know, a lot of people always ask, like, what if you find out one of your kids is gay? We're not going to like disown them. We're going to love our children and we're going to say what is best for you. And I'm going to help guide them through that process. We don't want to impose our rules and regulations to like oppress them. We want them to be happy. That is our genuine desire for our children, is that they will be happy and safe and loved and cared for. And that's all we care about. And they're going to have to learn some of these things the hard way if they don't listen to us. Because I feel like if they do what we say, they'll be happy. But sometimes you just have to learn those things for yourself.
That comes through experience. And one thing I don't agree with is I don't think that you should ever disown your children or shun them for their choices or things like that. You just have to help guide them and be there for them.
We will never disown our children.
No matter what decisions they make.
Okay, Catherine Dawn Snow asked, do you hate it when people come up to you and you're trying to have time with the camera off, calling your kids their real names and just trying to live a normal life, if you get me? By the way, I love your vlogs. Watch them every day.
Oh, thanks.
Yes, that happened.
I don't think that I hate it when people come up to us.
We don't
I always feel good. But
honored.
We did have an instant this weekend where... Do you want to tell the story?
I'll tell the story.
Do you want me to tell the story?
Okay, so if you watch the Disneyland vlog, we just put up a Disneyland vlog, and we got to get Baby Tart to stop sucking her thumb. And I don't know what the proper thing is. We've tried everything, and it
seems like it's gotten worse in the past couple weeks.
I don't know. Yeah, because she stopped. Like when she first started kindergarten, it was like we were like the whole family was like, hey, you know, we're all part of it. You know, Son Tart and Princess Tart are like encouraging her. You know, like it's a family thing where we're like, you're a big girl now. You're going to kindergarten. You know, don't suck your thumb because you're in kindergarten. And she stopped. She really did. Like I didn't see her suck her thumb at all. But she's kind of relapsed.
I wonder if it's just like the stress of going to school and her teacher was sick for a week and, you know, like. So as parents, other stresses that are in kids' lives that we don't realize.
And I don't know if she's still young enough where it's okay that she's sucking her thumb and we shouldn't, you know, worry about it too much. So anyways, we're at Disneyland and she was sucking her thumb like the whole time at Disneyland. And I'm just like, why is she sucking her thumb? We're at Disneyland. Maybe she was scared because some of the rides.
Tired too.
And it maybe was scary because everything was like Halloween. And that's kind of like a comfort thing for her. Anyways, long story short, I say to her, I'm like, Baby Tart, stop sucking your thumb. I told her probably like 10 times throughout the night. And even if you watch the vlog a few times, like after you guys got off Space Mountain, she was sucking her thumb. And I told her, because she's old enough now where she can reason, where she understands what she's not supposed to do, and she knows consequences. And so I told her, I said, if I catch you sucking your thumb one more time, we're going to leave. The whole family is going to go get in the car, and we're going to drive home, and we're going to leave Disneyland. And I said that to her because I shouldn't have said it in retrospect, because you've heard us say on podcasts, if we say something as parents, we have to follow through. So I told Colette after I saw her. And then I
was like, why'd you tell her that?
Colette was mad at me.
I was a little upset because I was excited to be at Disneyland and I still had the Haunted Mansion to go on and we still had to go get a churro and a cinnamon roll and it was not time to go.
We did not go to the Haunted Mansion. Anyways, okay, so I told her and I said, do you understand me? And I made it very clear, like I got down on her level and I said, do you understand? If I see you sucking your thumb one more time, we're going to leave. We're going to go home. And she's like, okay. She knew. She understood. So we ate dinner. We went on a few more rides. And then I saw her, you guys went to like that Buzz Lightyear dance party and they were walking back and here comes Baby Tart with her thumb in her mouth. And I'm standing there looking at her and she like, I don't know what it was. She looked right at me because usually like I'll look at her and we'll make eye contact and she'll go like pull her thumb out of her mouth like, I wasn't doing it. Like you didn't catch me. But she came walking back and she was sucking her thumb. And I don't think she realized because I was looking at her. I'm like, and she kept sucking it. And then finally she like, her eyes were like, oh crap. And I said, okay. We got to go home.
And we went home.
And we did. And I was like, even when I saw her sucking her thumb, I didn't say anything, like, because I saw her walk and I thought maybe she would see me and pull her thumb out. And I was kind of like purposely like not looking at her because I saw it and I was like, oh crap, she's sucking her thumb. That means we're going to have to go home or else I'm going to be a liar. And I was even like tempted to be like, act like I didn't see it, like turn away. But it was so obvious. Like she walked up and was standing right there. And I was like, oh crap, Colette's going to be pissed. I knew you were going to be mad.
Guys, I wasn't done.
She wasn't. She didn't have her churro fill.
I didn't.
So I said, okay, you guys, Baby Tart's sucking her thumb. We have to go home. And everybody was like, and because like we had just met up with Braylee and Carly,
and they were all there,
Kaylee,
and they were
all
staying.
having
It was
fun.
like it was going to close in like an hour and a half, so we still had an hour and a half or something.
It wasn't like we were only there for 20 minutes.
Right,
Yeah, it
we
was
were
like
there for a
10:30
long
at
time,
night. You know what I
but-
mean? We'd been there. And Braylee's even like, can't she get another chance? Just give her one more chance. And I said, no. I said, I told her if I caught her one more time that we were going to have to go home. And I can't go back on what I said. So I said, come
Right.
on, let's go. We have to leave.
So we were leaving, and we were on like the little trolley thing that takes you to the parking lot, and we were all. I know I was like this.
Colette was mad at me, and I was like, I'm
get
sorry,
on
I
the
said it, and we
I didn't
have
get
to
go to
fulfill it. Yeah, she had a lot
But
of
I
other
knew
rides she wanted
like
to go on.
I wasn't going to be like, no, we're staying, because I agree with that. If you say something, then you got to follow through. And even if I didn't agree with what he had decided to do, we were going to follow through, and I would talk to him later, and I did. And I was like,
She
Shay,
said-
why did you do that?
Well,
No,
she
just
said,
kidding.
next time you come up with what did you say? You say,
So next time you come up with a discipline that infects the whole family, let's discuss it first.
and I said, well, I told you after she sucked her thumb, we could have changed the discipline.
Yeah, but then I
Anyways.
thought, since you already told her. Anyways, it was just that whole
So we
that
were getting
whole
off the
discussion.
tram. Colette's kind of pissed at me because
And we're
like,
probably
we're
looked like
leaving.
this.
And then like
With our faces all
we
mad.
get off the tram, and I think Baby Tart was like sucking her thumb again when we got off the
probably
tram, and I'm like, stop it. And then right at that moment of this like little frustrated family leaving Disneyland, when I was like snapping at Baby Tart to stop sucking her thumb, these people walk up to us and like, Shay Tarts, can we get your
We're like,
picture?
Hi.
Sure. Gather 'em around. Let's get our picture together. Smile.
Which we were not upset that they came up to us, but we were both like, in that moment, it was like, oh.
Yeah, like don't look like
What
we're
did
upset.
I look like
The Shay
right
Tarts
then?
can never
did I just
be
look
upset.
like a total brat right then when I was all,
Right.
I'm so mad I ain't going to Haunted Mansion, you know? I probably looked like a brat.
Mommy Tart was pouting because she didn't
And
get her
Shay's all
churro.
snapping at Baby Tart. So it's like, that was a very real life moment. And
Where
they
it was
probably
like-
saw it, and
yeah.
hopefully they just.
We should ask those people. Those people that got our picture at Disneyland, did you
Hopefully
realize
you
that we were in
didn't
a bad
think
mood?
that we were rude, because
Yeah.
we appreciate you and we love you and we wanted to get a picture with you.
Yeah, we're never offended with when
We
people
never
come up
are.
and want to take our picture. We always feel like that's an honor. But
It's
we
never
feel
like,
we don't want them to be like, oh, they're really not happy. You know, they're like a
They're
mean,
not what I thought
they're
they
just
were.
happy on camera.
Stupid Shay
But that was
Tarts.
like a real life moment, something that really happened where it was like I had to, you know, fulfill what I said I was going to do. Because as a parent, if you don't do what you say you're going to do, your kids will not believe you and they will take advantage of
It's
it.
true.
And I even as we were walking, I even said to Colette, I'm like, well, I said, maybe I'll take Baby Tart and Rock Tart and go wait in the van and you guys can go. And she didn't want to do that because she wanted to stay together as a family. And I was trying to think, I'm like, well, what could I do? What can I do? Because I didn't want to leave either, honestly. Like I was having a good time. I was like, I wanted to go on the Haunted Mansion because it was all, they had it like all like Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas, and they had all of that like decked out, and I'm like, I wanted a churro too because it smelled
I
so
think
good. They
that's
smell like
just-
waffles.
I think that's just another example of, you need to discipline your kids, but give them discipline that you are willing to follow through with. Because if you say something like that and then you don't follow through with it, then they will not trust you. They won't believe you next time, and they'll walk all over you. That's why you need to, whatever you do decide to discipline them with, you have to follow through with. So I did appreciate that you followed through and that we followed through, because that was important. Even though I think that she was already tired and wanted to go home anyway.
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah. She
all of
didn't
us
seem
were
very
like,
disappointed.
We want to
She was like,
here.
okay, good. Maybe she sucked her thumb because she
'Cause
was
she was
ready to
super
go
tired.
home. That brat.
She's conspiring
She
against
ruined our
us.
Disneyland day. That as a parent too, like when you get after your kids, you want to see that they have remorse in their eyes. And I remember feeling like a little annoyed because she just seemed like, okay, like let's go home.
cool.
And then the other
I'm
kids
done.
were like,
I'm tired. I've had enough
sucks.
candy.
yeah. So what do you guys think? You know, how do we get, we've had a ton of suggestions of how to get Baby Tart to stop sucking her thumb. I don't know what it's going to take. You know, it's something. And when I got in the van afterwards, I said, you guys, listen, this is going to become a family thing. And I gave Sun Tart and Princess Tart deputy privileges. I said, if you guys see Baby Tart sucking her thumb, you need to tell her to stop. Because it's not about necessarily the sucking of the thumb. It's about listening. You know what I mean? It's about doing what your parents ask you.
I think for me too, it is the sucking of the thumb, because it's a habit, and habits are
Right.
really hard to break. Because I think it's a lot it's subconscious. She's been doing it since 3 months old.
Yeah.
She's been sucking her thumb. So I think it's just reminding her every time,
Yeah.
take your thumb out of your mouth. But she definitely does it sometimes when she knows she shouldn't be doing it. But whatever. We'll work on it. We'll continue to work.
Let's just cut her thumbs off. And
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
That's good.
All right, Marco Gonzalez. Is that Gonzalez? That's a G-O-N-C Goncalcafas. Says, would you consider going mainstream with the Shaytards, meaning a TV show? No.
I've always said no.
I mean, to be honest, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm ready for something new, but
I don't think that's it, though.
yeah.
I don't. I feel like they have way too much control, and it's scripted. Trust me, it's scripted. Do you ever watch the
producers that
Kardashians?
are not as nice as Brett.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, we never would want to lose control of it.
Yeah.
But like I'm starting to like be willing to I don't know, I feel like I'm willing to try new things. You know, I want to start doing new
We've
things.
been doing the vlogs for 4
Today, actually, you know, it's October 1st today when we're recording this. We started the Shaytards 4 years ago. The channel.
Shaytards channel.
I don't know.
We didn't start everyday vlogs until March of the next year, right?
Right.
But we've been doing it for a long time. So, I don't know. That's a good question. But I think that Shay and I, we never know what our future holds.
Email us.
And we will not take them
We'll see if
because
we like
Mommy
them.
Tart says no. No, I think that we're just have we ever known what we're gonna do in the
That's
next,
what I was gonna say. I was
we
about
never
to
know.
say,
It's like people are like, what are you gonna do in the next 5 years? I'm like, 5 years? I
have
don't even
no
know what we're gonna be
idea.
doing next year or
You
in
guys
3
think
months.
we have this like grand plan that we
got
like
this
have it all
plan.
planned out? We're like,
Shaytards
and
is
then
gonna be this
we'll launch into
huge
this
across
thing.
the entire universe.
We don't know. We're
We
just
don't
like
know.
uploading our lives, bro. We have no idea.
We are just doing it.
I have so many like back and forth thoughts where I'm like, I'm gonna really go into acting. I'm gonna start going on auditions, and I'm gonna try to make it in Hollywood, and I'm gonna win me an Emmy. I'm gonna get on TV, and like I start to have these like big ambitions to like make it in LA. And then the next second, I'll be like, let's just move back to Idaho.
I'm gonna go back to Idaho.
I'll start editing the
Start
vlogs
editing
again,
the vlogs again.
and we won't do anything else, and we'll just focus on the vlogs every day, and I'll just edit them, and that'll just be all that we do, and we'll just focus on making the vlogs really good, and we'll live a simpler life in Idaho, and just go back to that. And like
So in
I
other
go
words,
back and
we
forth.
don't know
Yeah, we have no idea
what we're gonna do.
And so like at this point, I feel like we're kind of like in the middle of that, where we're doing the vlogs every day, but you know, I don't know if we're giving 100% attention to them, you know, because I'm not editing them, and all those little details that I used to add, I can't, you know, because we're doing so many other projects. You know, we're doing the podcast and we're doing all these other things, and sometimes I feel like we're spread kind of thin. So there's this fine line in trying to decide like what's the best for us and for our family. And I don't know. I feel like there's a change coming. I don't know what it is yet. I don't, honestly. You know, you guys might think
and don't
I'm
be
like,
worried. Don't be scared.
yeah. We're always going to be here. Like, I think when people hear about us talking about the vlogs ending, they're like, oh, the Shaytards are going to disappear. You're not going to get rid of us.
You can't.
There's no way you can get rid of us. I promise you that.
We will not let you.
Whether it's, you know, on YouTube. I mean, I think we'll always be on YouTube. Even if the vlogs stop, I promise you that we will update at least once a week, if not 4 or 5 times a week.
Come on, you guys.
You know, I upload 3
Shay.
videos a day. You think I'm just going to stop making videos? Come on. You guys know me or what?
I have to tell him, honey, put your phone down. Stop reading comments. It's time to do something else. So don't worry. We're not going anywhere.
So, you know, whatever we decide, the most important thing is our family. And a lot of that decision is based on what's best for our children and, you know, what's best for us as a couple. And I don't know. But we sincerely enjoy you guys being along for the ride, especially today after, you know, 1,337 Shaytard videos. We have 500 million YouTube views on Shaytards.
It's crazy.
I just realized that. I forgot to see that we had hit 500 million.
Yeah.
I was like waiting for that. You know, when your odometer rolls over in your car,
Yeah.
when we had like 499 million views, I was like, oh, I can't wait to see it hit 500 million. And then just today I looked and we're at 514 million.
Yeah.
Which is insane. And
It
the
is so
places
crazy.
that it's taken us and this journey has been unfathomable, honestly. The people we've met and the things we've been able to do have been really a treat. So
Well, thank you. We always appreciate you guys.
don't forget to download the podcast for free below and keep watching our videos.
Guys, we'll keep making them.
See you guys next week. Love you.
Mwah.